Tad, everybody. Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. This your host Trey. Of course, that's my co-host and homeboy Face.
What up, world?
And tonight we gonna go ahead and we finna do this strictly Bucks episode real quick, man. Now, the other night when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played against the Philadelphia Eagles, outside of the fact that Buccaneer fans were outnumbered in the stadium, which we all knew was going to happen because how much you can sell the tickets for, people from up north going to pay and all that good stuff. Not really tripping about that. Knew that was going to happen. All right. I used to sell my ticket
Bandwagon
every now
jumpers.
and again. Yeah, all that stuff there. It is what it is. Plus, most people in Tampa are really not from Tampa anyway. Okay, but that's a whole nother ball game. But what we displayed out there on that field was kind of troubling. First thing I want to talk about is Mike Evans, Mr. I need $82 million. Now, on previous episodes, I stated that we should not pay Mike Evans $82 million for 3 years. Okay? I stated that for a specific reason because of the drops and because of the push offs. We didn't see 100% of that equation on Monday night, but we did see 50% of that. The passes he's supposed to catch, he drops. But he makes some amazing catches. He's an exciting player. He's a great player. I think we should pay him. But Monday night was an example of why I think we shouldn't pay him the $82 million. What say you, Faith?
For you to be playing for a contract year, you definitely are showing people that you're not worth the 82. I understand you're a big part of the offense, and I get it. Everybody want to get their money, but I had you at 61 yards, bro. You dropped five, or at least four passes.
He dropped three. He dropped five total passes. He was targeted
Yeah, he
10
dropped
times.
three of them that hit him in
Yeah,
his
he
hands,
dropped
though.
three of them that hit him in his hands. Three of them that hit him in his hands. And two of them, he was wide open. Nobody on him. One time, he did a comeback the route was so clean, he shook the DB and turned around and nobody was on him to catch the ball. And it's like he was shocked that he shook the DB. So he dropped it. Then the touchdown. Then he dropped. And let's not forget, crucial third down. He dropped.
You
Baker
dropped the
Mayfield only
ball.
threw, bro. Baker Mayfield only threw for like 100 and like I want to say 54, 100, 154, somewhere around there yards, right? Had Mike Evans even caught two of those passes, it's a 200 plus yard day.
Even though, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if that would have made a difference, but it would have made a difference at the moment because of the momentum. Anytime you make a big play, anytime you catch for a first down and stuff like that, it gives your team a little motivation.
Face, I'm gonna tell you something. If the score was 3-0, okay, or no, it was 0-0, 0-0, because Philly went for it on fourth down when they could have kicked the field goal, and they didn't. And Mike Evans dropped the crucial third down.
Well, I'm gonna rewind the track 1 second. I just want to.
That's on the first drive. That's the first drive. First time we had the ball.
But me personally, I still blame the head coach.
Oh no, we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. There's plenty of blame to go around. There's plenty of blame to go around. Go ahead.
I heard his speech like prior to the game, like a day or two before, like right before the game. And he was like, "Well, if we lose this game, it's not the end of the world. Like, bro, you can't go in there with that type of attitude." So how you think your players felt going into that game? That's why they weren't tackling. That's why they weren't. That's why they were dropping passes because they came in there already thinking that coach say, okay, it'll be okay if we lose this game.
No, they
When
come in there
y'all should be
thinking,
going in
hold up.
there.
They come in there thinking we're playing the NFC champions. We playing the best run defense in the NFL right now. The very best run defense in the NFL with
I think we
Jalen
got
Carter,
40
who is
yards
the new
rushing.
Warren Sapp. The new Warren Sapp is Jalen Carter. But then hold on, I'm not done yet. We also playing new offensive coordinator and new defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we have a new offensive coordinator, and I want to talk about him real quick. His name is Dave Canales. Now, I am happy that we are sticking to the run and that we are trying to run the ball. Not mad at that. But what I'm not happy about is when we get the ball back on an interception on the 1 yard line, you decide on the very first play to run the ball. Brother, you don't run the ball at that point in time because you're playing against the best run defense in the NFL. In the NFL. Now, whether or not you don't trust Baker or it's only your third game ever calling plays, whatever the cause may be, right? There's issues there. Then, hold up, it gets better, Faith. I mean, unless you hold on, do you got something you want to say about Dave Canales and the play calling? Because I got some other stuff we can get to. Like, how about Rashad White? I told the world that Rashad White was not the guy. And I'm not giving up on the young man yet, but I'm not
But
seeing him hit these
I'm gonna say
holes.
this.
Okay,
Listen. I'm gonna say this right. I can't even just throw all the blame on Rashad White because
I'm not putting. Look, like
nobody,
I said, there's plenty of
nobody,
blame,
nobody, nobody's rushing far as the Bucs offense. So I would have to say the offensive line
brother.
is gonna
He's
have to do a
getting
better
he's
job.
getting
They,
85% of the carries, so ain't nobody else getting
but
a chance to rush. So
you
you
got to
know,
look at each. But how many times does he have really somewhere to go? Be honest with you.
bro,
I'm just saying the offensive line has to create holes for this dude to run through. They're not creating those holes. You know what I mean? They probably it's like ain't nobody
brother.
gonna be able to run with that offensive line,
I'm not
bro.
gonna.
They
No, I'm not gonna
protect
say that.
Baker.
I'm not gonna say that
Who?
right now. If we would had the opportunity to draft Bijan, and we had Bijan, yeah, Bijan to get
Uh,
that rock through there. Okay, if we had an opportunity to draft Chardonnay, Zach Chardonnay, which we did, Charbonnet from Seattle, uh, he would be getting through these holes. We could have drafted us a running back, but that's neither here nor there. That's all I'm trying to state right now is the fact that I'm not seeing production from the running game. I'm seeing us attempt to do it. We're doing better than we were doing last year. Okay, we are doing better than we were doing last year. I give us credit there. All right, but
but last year they gave up on the run because they had Brady. This
man,
year,
mm,
this year, I'm a you getting a dude opportunity. He touching the ball. He just not, and I don't think it's
man,
necessarily his
I
fault.
don't think. No, I think part
I
of it
feel
is
like
his
it's the
fault.
offensive line.
It's not just the offensive line. There's been holes. He ain't hitting it. He's chopping his feet. You know what I'm talking about when somebody's chopping their feet trying to make a decision.
Yeah,
You
I
need
know
to
that,
just
but
plunge forward sometimes. And he ain't doing it. He chopping trying to make a decision. No, if you got to think that much about what's going on, then I don't know what's going on, brother. If you can't see what's going on in front of you and can't understand and read the fact of which way the block is losing, because you could see who's losing the block. I'm gonna tell you right now, somebody who's played in the backfield, when you get that ball, okay, first time somebody gets you, all right. So the left guard he wasn't handling his thing. Next time somebody gets me, it's the same side, same dude. All right. I know when I'm running to this side, I'm running at this dude. I got Jalen Carter right over here in the middle. I got Jalen Carter, and he's crushing what's going on with Hainsey. Okay, he's doing Robert Hainsey. So at that point in time, I have to understand as the running back that when I get that, I'm only making one stutter step because he's gonna catch me after I try to make another one. That's the first thing. As the offensive coordinator, I'm learning I need to run more off tackle. I need to make them run to the outside. I need to run behind Tristan Wirfs. We got opportunity. Okay, we also have other opportunities, such as more quick slants, or how about involving Chris Godwin into the offense again? Because we stopped, we discontinued involving Chris Godwin in the offense. What about that?
It's early in the season, man. They gotta when you call the plays, you gotta actually this is first year. You gotta actually see what works and what don't work. You gotta actually set some things up for the future just by showing different packaging and being committed to the run. It looks like right now like it's ignorant, but at the
No, it's
same
not
time,
ignorant. It's not
you have
ignorant.
to
It's not ignorant.
you
I'm
have to
happy
you have
about
to
that.
and hopefully, some of these offensive linemen, DB, whatever they gotta, they'll start understanding what the concept really is. I don't know if that's what's going on right now. I just know they are being consistent with the run at times. Well, most other teams would give up on it. They down sometimes, but he's trying to stick with the run. So I salute him for that.
Yeah,
But
I
at the
salute him
same
for that.
time, I feel like the defense, offensive line got to win some of these battles up front. I
Yeah,
don't feel like they winning enough to open up the hole for this dude, man. Because I'm watching him. He like you say, some running back they can't just run into the. If the holes is plugged up, you don't have nowhere to run to.
I understand.
These defensive line are swallowing these dudes up, and
Uh,
it's really
brother,
not that much.
okay, we
Ain't no
played
room
against
for him to
the
run.
best run defense in the NFL this last week. So I'm not truly just judging him by what I just saw, okay, in this last game. I'm talking about as a cumulative whole, I have not seen him break one yet. I've seen holes. I've seen him not hit them. I want to see him hit them. I hope that he soon will begin to hit them. All right. But at this point in time, he is presently not hitting the holes. And whether or not Dave Canales needs to be more creative in figuring out ways to open up the run game if we are going to consistently run the ball. Maybe throw the ball to
Yeah.
Chris Godwin, like I keep saying. Like we I don't know what happened. I don't know why we went away from Chris Godwin. I don't know what's going on, but I know that Chris Godwin should be getting the ball. I know that Chris Godwin is open sometimes because we were throwing the ball like, all right, let's go back. Before we even get to the fact that we're not throwing the ball to Chris Godwin, okay, let's talk about Baker because we can't leave Baker out on this one. Now, Baker did not play a horrible game, but Baker had a fumble that he recovered or was recovered on our side, so he didn't lose the fumble. Rashad White lost the fumble. All right. Baker threw an interception, and he didn't break 200 yards. Now, part of that was protection because he was running for his life some of the time. Part of that was the fact that the running game wasn't working. So when we did go to pass, it wasn't. I don't know why we weren't play actioning more, and we weren't doing a lot of those crossing routes or those drags that we were doing in previous weeks. Like the drag is a very good route when you have a defense like the Philadelphia Eagles out there. All right, because it's gonna force them to cross space. And when they cross face, you have opportunity for mental mistakes. So at the end of the day, yeah, Dave Canales is step up. Baker got to start figuring out how to call audibles because I do need you to have the ability to audible out of a route so that you can put your receiver in the proper position for the defense that you're seeing. I'm not sure if you're doing that yet. I ain't really haven't seen it. So maybe you just don't have command of the offense at that level. But we're going against Jameis Winston and the Saints next week. All right. And we're not going to get into that right now, but we can't lose that game. We can't lose that game. Now, let's talk about the defense real quick, Face, unless you got something to add about Baker.
I
Yeah.
feel like Baker doing all right. He doing all right. I think his offensive line has to step it up a little bit. They got to have better protection. They got to have better run support. I don't know.
Brother, we knew we were gonna have a sorry offensive line. Let's just call it what it is. Okay, we knew
Well,
not sorry, but not. We weren't gonna have the best offensive line like we've had in the past. All right, we knew that Ryan Jensen was out and was gone and was not coming back. He won't be back, so that's dead. We knew we were running with the same center we yeah, which should help because this guy actually should have experience. But at the end of the day, man, you know when we're talking about the, when we're talking about a team that has Tristan Wirfs, okay, on one side, and
Cameron,
virtually nobody on like that, you
you're
yeah, yeah, I know. Um, without without a complete offensive line to protect Baker or to create those holes and lanes, man, as Buccaneer fans, we all know what it is, right? We all knew what we were coming into the season with. But we also know that the offensive coordinator should be aware of that. He's fully aware of what he has at his disposal. So at the end of the day, man, there's plenty of fingers or plenty of ways you can point the blame on this one. This was a team loss. 25-11 does not show what the actual pain that was felt during that game as a Buccaneer fan watching it. All right. And
I
as
feel like listen, I feel like them having the ball for the entire fourth quarter without scoring, without kicking a field goal is that's a bad sign for a defense. They had the ball the entire fourth quarter
yeah,
without scoring, without kicking a field goal.
yeah,
It's like they were torn with the defense.
yeah,
Fourth and whatever, go for it. Just the runner and
yeah, yeah. And that's and when you're talking about what's going on that defense, so yeah, we had a banged up Devin White. We know his groin was injured. All right, so he wasn't 100% out there. We know that Vita Vea wasn't 100%. He didn't practice fully all week last week. Okay, we knew we're missing Carlton Davis. Then we lost Jamel Dean on top of that. All right, so we're a mass unit right now, man, on that defense. We're a complete mass unit. And the Philadelphia Eagles showed us mercy in that fourth quarter by not running it up on us and scoring on us like that. They showed respect to Todd Bowles, to be honest with you. That's what that is. All right. That's respect to Todd Bowles, not wanting to run it up on him like that or do nothing crazy. Just all right,
that
let you
that
go.
that I think that was the opposite though right there. That
What?
wasn't that. It's that defense can't get us off the field. Don't give it back to them. Just run the clock out. It's like really disrespectful in a sense. I'm going for it on fourth down.
Yeah,
If
no.
it was respect, I'd have punted it. You down
Nah,
two
I'm
touchdowns.
going for it on
You
fourth
can't
down to
catch
run.
up.
I'm finna run the clock out. I ain't gonna let you get the
That,
ball back, but at the same
that's
time,
disrespectful.
I could
That's
score on
saying
you.
keep
I
away.
hold up. I could keep scoring on you. I know you.
That, but
I got
hold
mismatches
on.
out here.
So would you rather somebody just go on and get the ball and run from you, let you know they faster than you,
Nah,
or would you rather them hold the ball up
I
like
want
they
an
said keep?
opportunity to win, bro. I want an opportunity to win, just like everybody else.
Man,
We
they
all
got
know
the
that.
ball up like this right here
Yeah,
and
that's
just
what they
keep
doing.
spinning the circle. That was ugly, man. That was disrespectful. That was kind of disrespectful for them to hold the ball the entire fourth quarter. You can't get us off the field. That's
No, hold
disrespectful,
up.
man.
No, 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 no,
That's
no.
ugly
It
for the
wasn't
Bucks.
disrespectful. I'm gonna explain what that was. Okay, that wasn't the Eagles or the Eagles coaching staff disrespecting the Bucks. That was the Bucks disrespecting themselves. That's what was going on that. All right. When you're a defense and you can't get the offense off the field, you letting DeAndre Swift run up and down the field. Holes so big that he doesn't get touched until he's 8 yards down the field, which means he's ran the 7 yards he is back behind the line of scrimmage, plus another 8 yards before someone touches him or he has to make a move. There was times and points in the game where that young man was running so free, I could have swore you could have ran a bus through
And
there,
then
a
you
whole
gotta think
car.
about it. You know how many points, the yards after the catch they got, after contact. If you look at the missed tackles and that, it was pitiful.
Yeah,
It was pitiful. But at the end of the day, like I say, I look at the key points. I feel like he injected that type of attitude into them, like they could take this game on, like they could, like they might be too much better than us. I didn't like the conversation the coach was having, saying, "Well, if we lose, it's not the end of the world." Like you don't tell your team that this is the game that we want. We want these type of games. I want to see y'all fight.
yeah.
I don't want to. If we lose, it don't matter. Yeah, it does matter. And these are games that give your team confidence. If you
If he
really
dies, he
think,
dies. If he dies, he dies.
well, I'm gonna tell you like this: Todd Bowles ain't got too much time left in town.
Like I said,
You're a
if
black
he
head
dies,
coach.
he dies.
You're a black head coach, and you do not last long down here in Tampa without no winning record. Even
Hold up.
one with winning record.
Pause.
Total Dungeon has a
Pause
winning
1 second.
record. Look what they did
For
to him.
those of you who don't understand what I just said, man, that's a Rocky reference. Okay, that was Drago talking about Apollo Creed as he was dying on the in the ring. He said, "If he dies, he dies." Okay, if Todd Bowles doesn't pull himself up right now and show this team that he cares about winning, and that is of the utmost importance, because we got some big games coming up right now. Not only we play the Saints this week, but we eventually got to go play the 49ers, I believe, this year. And we got to play the Bills this year. We got some games that we got to play that we got to show up or get ran out the house. Like literally, do we want to look like Denver? Because we're not going to lose that many games. That's the problem, right? Here's the problem where the Buccaneers are at. The Buccaneers are in this crazy place, okay, post Tom Brady, to where we have good enough players to not lose a bunch of games, but we don't have enough good players or maybe coaching to win a bunch of games. So we're somewhere in the middle of the pack. All right. Now, luckily, we have a big quarterback class coming through in the next year or whatever like that. But we'll get to that when draft time comes. But at the end of the day, man, all right, we got to live in the present. And the present is the Bucks aren't going to lose 10 games this year. Vegas said that we weren't going to win more than 5.5 to 6 games this year. Some places you can get a 6.5. I honestly don't see us losing 11 games. Even playing like we just played against the NFC Championship team.
So you know what you need to do? You need to call the head coach. Get Todd Bowles on the phone. Listen, Todd, you have to find ways to put these players in the best position to win. You're
Facts.
not gonna run the ball straight up and get too much of nothing in the running game. You have to create wrinkles. You have to create different ways to get Rashad White on the outside where he could use his speed, where he could put him on the island sometime with the DB or a linebacker, swing pass, anything to extend these different run plays and try to create some type of running game a different way. You can't do it the conventional way all the time.
Hold on.
So
But
you have to
look,
find
that
wrinkles and
it's
things that
that's
get these.
that's the difference between see, and right now that comes back to experience. Now I know we keep coming back to Dave Canales, but Dave Canales is he is the fulcrum that holds up whether or not this team will be successful or not. The defense is going to do what the defense does. I have faith in Todd Bowles and doing what he does with the defense. We did a decent job considering the mass unit we had rolled out there, some injuries that we incurred during the game, the fact we plan and that we just keep every time we keep getting put back out there on the field in horrible field position. Like as an example, we interception score is 20 to I want to say 7 at that point in time, or yeah, somewhere around there. And we get the interception on 1 yard line. What happens next? We run the ball and get safety. Defense is right back out there. Like you or first time we get the ball, they drive down the field. Defense stops them on 4th down. Mike Evans drops the key pivotal 3rd down. Defense is right back out there again. That's the kind of stuff that killed us last year. Is when the defense has to keep going right back out there because you can't get more than you're going 3 and out. You're going 5 and out. You can't 6 and out. I'm sorry. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to have sustained drives. So that's where I understand why he runs the ball. But you got to also be more creative with your play calling. All that come in time, though, man. All that'll come in time. And that defense, like I said, it's a mass unit. There's a lot more injuries on the injury report today. So, yeah. And this is only this is only Wednesday. We still got another day. But this your homeboy Trey. That's my co-host Face, man. This strictly Buccaneers. We gonna holler at y'all. Peace.
Peace.